All right, so this is what we have to start off with to put the carpeting in a John boat. We've already blown out the hole. These are like 2-inch deep ribs. We're gonna do the carpeting with the gym floor mat. So we have the 2-inch thick R10 styrofoam kind of deal. The 2 boxes of the floor tiles. They're about 5/8 of an inch thick. We got 2 of those, 2 cans of the 3M high strength 90, and then a roll of the indoor outdoor area rug. So we're going to start off with cutting the foam to fit inside the ribs of the hull so that everything is flush on the bottom. So these are the tools you need: tape measure, some sort of straight edge device, marker, razor blade, a square, and then handy dandy old trusty jigsaw with an assortment of blades. You can do it without the square and the jigsaw most likely, but it's just going to take longer, so keep that in mind. Alright, so first things first, you're going to want to measure out all of your ribs and see how the width in between the two, and then all of these, and then you'll want to lay it out on your piece of foam so you can make sure that you have enough foam and get the most out of your piece. What I like to do is I like to mark it, and then I put the straight edge up against it, or the square, make a mark, and then put my level up against the square. That way I can get the best cut possible. And then we'll take a marker of some sort, and so we'll take a marker and mark a line down it, and then we'll cut off piece by piece and remeasure every time. That way we're guaranteed to fit properly, and then we'll cut them to length after we get the proper width on it. All right, so we cut our first piece to width. Now we're gonna measure and mark out the how long it needs to be, and then we'll just set it in the hole and continue on. So you're just gonna repeat that until you get all the foam into the boat for the first layer. So we're notching the panels to get around these little pieces of rib right here. It's something you might run into if you're doing this on your boat, but not necessarily. It just varies by the boat, since basically every single one of them is different, but it's something to keep an eye out for. You just kind of mark it and notch it out. Super easy. So we've got 2 of them in so far in the front part. Now this last one's going to be kind of a little bit difficult because there's a, I don't know if you can kind of see it, there's a taper on the hull, but we'll cut a piece and cut it in half and then get it in there, and we'll leave y'all in there for the time lapse. So that's the front done. Had a little oopsie right here, just a little tip. If your boat narrows at the front like this one does, you're going to want to measure the back of it, of your piece, all the way across, and then you're going to take and measure the front piece all the way across, and then your distance right here. So that way when you cut the length, then you'll measure the center all the way, the difference in between here and there, mark it in the center, and then divide that in half, and then take it off of each side. Like here we were at 40 in the back and 37-ish right around here, and I accidentally took it off of one side, just not thinking. But you're going to want to measure the center and then take an inch off over here and an inch off over there. That way everything lines up the way it should. This is not a big deal, and the carpet will cover it, but you know, we made this mistake. Hopefully you won't make it too. All right, so what we're doing is we laid the carpet out on a table, and we laid the piece on top. You just kind of spray around it with the glue, and then you can lay that down. And then just coat everything really well. You're gonna want to make sure you have plenty around the edges, because that's where your peeling is gonna happen. Highly recommend don't do this indoors, because you'll get stoned. Unless you're into that. But don't do that. Once you get your top piece sprayed, you just go ahead and spray the carpet. You don't have to use a lot because it's really strong glue. But just make sure to get a good even coating on everything. It's really hard to see when you spray it. So when you set it down, you're going to want to have the carpet on the table, and then make sure you have enough overlapping. And then you set it down. Just put good pressure all the way around it, because it is a contact adhesive. Bring up all your sides. And then you'll take and cut your excess off. Then once it's more to a manageable piece of fabric, you're going to want to take your knife and slit the middle of each of the joints out a certain amount, go all the way, and then angle the corners so that everything folds nicely. Then you're going to take your corners, measure out the thickness of your foam, just kind of eyeball it. You're going to cut that also. Once you get everything cut, you'll spray the bottom of it and let that glue dry, and then you'll fold it over, and we'll show you that as well. Everything's cut, as you see, around all the notches. So now we'll spray some more glue on it and then fold everything over, and I'll show you that. So we have we've got it all cut to fit. Got to do a little bit of work on that one. His turned out better than mine. And then this excess, since we folded this over, put a little bit more glue right here, and then when we fold that, it'll all be covered up, and that we'll do that on those corners over there. So you're gonna have your piece right here covered in glue, and your gluable carpet right there. You're gonna want to let these sit for probably 5 to 10 minutes. You're not gonna want to get them, let it dry super completely, because it makes it a little bit harder. If you mess up, you can peel it back and start over in a certain area. But there's that. It's really coming along. Makes it a lot quieter when you're on the water, and it also, you know, it still gives you the ability to you know, move your boat around without having it hooked to the truck or whatever you're towing it with. If you put a lot of wood in there, you would have to, you know, it's a lot heavier, you know, more strain on your back. But also it, you know, wood rots. Styrofoam like this, it takes a lot longer for it to rot out than wood would do. Unless you treat it, then you're spending more money on it. You know, all said and done, this has cost $200 right on the nose. But we also got the little piece of wood there. But that's all the extra foam that we have left over. There's some little scraps, and then there's 2 full cubes of foam board left over too. So you can use that for, you know, if you're kneeling in gravel, for working on your truck or working on your boat. You know, it just makes everything a lot more convenient. But that's what was in it before. Kind of formed to the ribs of the boat and got hot, and you know, it's quick and easy, but this is where it's at right here. All right, there it is, finished product. Went from AstroTurf with a rubber backing in the back, foam on the floor. I got a nice sturdy work surface or fishing surface or whatever. Still really light, and it all pops out if you ever want to clean it. You know, wash it out, hose out the whole boat. You know, it's great. You can take them out if you're sitting on a beach somewhere, and you know, everything's real nice. So do it to your boat. Makes a big difference.